Amber, Ayala, and Lauren, excellent presentations for this week's readings. I concur with Alex, you've set the bar incredibly high. Hi cohort members, my name is Gayle Abbott-Mackie, and this is my week 4 mashup. I've decided to do this week's response with my school's focus for implementation days in mind. As a staff, we were all given readings from this book, A Framework for Understanding Poverty. I think that it fits in nicely with my YouTube presentation for this week. I plan on addressing each of the 3 presentations and tying them together with a focus on this book. This mashup of information from the 3 YouTube presentations and readings for 562 and my school homework started me on a process of self-enlightenment. I'd like to start with a quote actually from Sarah from week 3. She said, "How is it possible to train teachers to deliver curriculum in a manner that engages students on a level that truly invites?" She said, "To me, this is the essence of what makes an educated person. Someone who intuitively understands how to bridge the abstract and the concrete and sustain the interest of students connecting knowledge to real-life situations. By doing my presentation this week in this way, this is what I'm attempting to do." I wrote a paper last year for Mary Leah in our Foundations course, and it was called "You're a White Middle-Class Teacher, Gayle Abbott-Mackie. I have a story to tell, but I'm saving that for later." My lived curriculum and that of many of my First Nation students are complete opposites. I've said ad nauseum that my school is a dichotomy of socioeconomics groups. I teach not only most of the affluent students in the Cowichan Valley, but that of the multi-generational poverty-stricken students from the Cowichan Reserve. Our lived experiences are completely different. However, the lived experience of myself and my very wealthy students are very similar. Lauren described Karari when she said, via PNAR, it's moving from a thing to a process. It involves students, teachers, and our lives, past, present, and future. Now, according to this book, First Nation students in poverty don't look to the past. They live in the absolute present, day to day, whereas the middle class looks to the future. So using PNAR's 4 steps of curriculum, it's difficult, for lack of a better word, for our First Nation students to make connections. PNAR's 4 stages of curriculum, the regressive stage is in the past, progressive looks to the future, analytical is past, present, and future, and synthetical is existential. So I must reiterate here that First Nations see this present only the immediate present. Another area I'd like to address is language. The planned curriculum from the Ministry of Education uses linear language. In a framework for understanding poverty, it is made abundantly clear that the register or language discourse that I use is completely different from that of my students. First Nations were not brought up with linear language. They do not use linear language at home, nor at school, and have insurmountable difficulties in the area of literacy. My reflections on Aoki, planned and lived curriculum. I appreciate that lived experiences of students and teachers are a hybrid of experiences. Aoki called it rhizomian. I keep this in mind when I reflect on all of my students and classes and how they can be so eclectic. Stringing together Amber's presentation on Schubert, I see connections between curriculum inquiry as critical inquiry and the social hierarchy, which is poverty versus middle class, and how this affects my teaching and how my students learn. Collaborative action research using teacher as a researcher in the classroom will hopefully shed some light on this throughout the year. Improvement in teaching practice and student engagement being the intended outcome. I couldn't do this week's post without commenting on hidden curriculum. I have a couple of observations here. Framework for Understanding Poverty states that the impoverished collect people and friends. My classes are very popular among First Nations, and they are able to be successful in my classes. This makes me think that perhaps these students consider me part of their collection, or is it just my enthusiasm for my classes that is infectious to my students? This is more to think about. Aoki refers to the various inquiries as shortcomings, but if we don't try to understand each other and make changes for the better, and even if it doesn't work, at least we can say that we've tried. This, to me, is the essence of the fluid nature of curriculum. Ayala, love your presentation. You helped me re-understand that reconceptualist theory and inner experience, the ebb and flow of a journey. So with your presentation as a segue to finishing up, I've got 3 final thoughts. First, Karari is indeed the study of unique public and inner experiences, and my experiences are vastly different from that of many of my students. Second, Karari is motivated by pride, satisfaction, and a sense of accomplishment. And finally, Karari moves curriculum from a focus on design to a process that connects curriculum with the course we take in our personal lives. It is a fluid process and suggests moving forward. What I see is an opportunity for students who are perpetually stuck in the present to express a process that helps them move forward into the future. The process is hope. Cheers, everybody. See you again.